This is Hal Weinshank and Spiritual Power Hour. Today we're going to talk about a couple of very important topics, and then I'm going to leave an open chat. I'm going to have basically an open chat that you guys can ask any questions. The main topics I want to answer and talk about this evening is the Great Awakening. That's a big topic. How to ascend. That's also a big one. Ascension Symptoms. And then Advanced Manifesting. That's what I have on the agenda for this evening. So go ahead and let me know that you can hear me okay, that you can see me okay in the comment section. If you're in my Facebook group, go ahead and comment. Otherwise, if you're in TikTok, go ahead and comment as well, or give me a thumbs up. So tonight's topic, or this morning, wherever it is you are on this bright blue planet we call Earth, we will go ahead and talk about certain things this evening. So again, I'm still setting up. I'm operating both on Facebook and on TikTok. And so I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me okay. Just go ahead and let me know. You should be able to hear me right in the Facebook group. Let me get over to there real quick. And then we're going to get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. This will be recorded. I'll post this all over social media, especially so in my Facebook group. For the other social media, I'll post the link to that Facebook group if you'd like to join. Okay, so let's get started. And let me make sure that this is working. Okay, there we go. And let me make sure this side's working. Make sure that everybody can hear me okay. Just go ahead and let me know. Let me turn the volume down over here. There we go. Okay, so the first topic I want to talk about is what has been going around the internet for quite some time, the Great Awakening. Perhaps a lot of you already know this information, perhaps not. But the Great Awakening is a period of spiritual time that we're in this now moment. The Earth herself, Gaia, is going through a process, and we're going along with her in terms of ascending. But the Great Awakening has to do with awakening of humanity. That's sort of the first step. And the first step in awakening is to become aware that you are a powerful spiritual being and that you have a divine purpose. There is much going around about an initial tribe or an initial wave that came through the original 144,000. Many of you have probably heard this before. And then, give me one moment. We're having technical difficulties over at Facebook. This is nothing new. So hold on one moment, please. That's okay. We'll keep it going the way it is. All right. So again, we're going through this awakening period here on planet Earth and as a soul tribe, as soul beings. So the first step is the awakening process. That means becoming aware that you are a powerful spiritual being. You're in a school. Earth is a school. There's more to life than this physicality that you see in front of you, more than your job and the people around you and things like that. So remember that we are going through this awakening process. Some of you are already there. Some of you are already seeing this process. Some of you, maybe this is for the first time learning this. In either event, there is, give me one moment. Let me answer one question. Yeah. Okay, so for some of you, this might be new. For some of you, this is, old hat. This is something you already know. This is sort of the first stage in the collective consciousness, is the awakening itself. You first must become conscious that you are a divine being, and then you must want to awaken, meaning we're in this trap, so to speak, in the 3D matrix that's been distorted. It's been inverted. Deliberately. There's a darker force also that had existed on this planet for many thousands of years that has kept us in this matrix, which is sort of a trap. And we're put through this veil of silence, this veil of darkness, so to speak, meaning we could not remember who we really are. Once you get through this awakening, once you remember who you really are, you become, oh wait, I'm awake. The movie The Matrix, consider it a documentary. Go back and watch that movie again, the first one. That's a documentary. That's the process that we are all going through, realizing that we are living in a holographic projection. There's nothing wrong, right, or indifferent we're going through. And so that's the first stage of this, is this awakening. The second stage of this is the other thing that I want to mention is what we call ascension. Ascension is different than awakening. You first have to become awake, and then you have to perhaps get into this mindset where you want to ascend, which means to evolve. But ascension is a lot more during this period of time. During this period of time, an ascension comes up approximately every 25,500 years, give or take, depending upon where you listen to it. The Mayan calendar, different sources have talked about this period. Planet Earth has gone through this 4 times. The very last one was the fall of Lemuria and Atlantis. And as we went through that process as well, we were trying to ascend. This process, we have millions of our extraterrestrial friends watching this process, both in our galaxy and above our planet. They operate in a vibration slightly beyond our sight. And they're watching and waiting because they are also part of this process. It's a multiverse. It's very much like in the movies. I'm a big fan of the superhero movies. There is a multiverse. We're multidimensional creatures. And so what we do here on Terra Prima is most important for all of the other universes. So it's really important that we ascend, that we get to that place. You've heard about different things, dimensions, right? We're operating currently in 3D or third dimension. Dimensions are a perspective density, meaning in the third dimension, it's mostly a tribal consciousness. Tribal meaning you take care of you and yours. Okay, you've met people like this. Fourth dimension is you're starting to go into collective consciousness, which means you realize there is more to this than me and mine. There's actually a collective. There's actually a group. There's actually a oneness to all that is all. We're just one piece of this as earthlings here on Gaia. So you start realizing that in fourth dimension. You start becoming more loving. You start becoming more aware that you want to serve others and not yourself. 5D and above, this is the goal. This is our left brain's pick numbers, so we'll use it. 5D, 5-dimensional, or 5 density and above, and the two are not really interchangeable, dimensions and density. I don't want to get into that right now, but suffice it to say we can say 5D. At 5D and higher, that becomes then unity consciousness. Unity consciousness is this feeling that we are all one. And you feel this in your heart of hearts. Your heart carries the truth. Your heart is where the truth and your soul connects. And so if we are all one and we are actually in an aspect of unity consciousness, then we truly believe that in our heart of hearts. And it's a vibration, remember. It's not like a free pass. It's not like going to Disneyland and seeing, the next ride and elevating to an e-ticket or what have you. This is not that. There's more to it than that. It has to do with dimensional, vibrational, frequency thinking, feeling. And so it's not a destination, it's more an internal way of thinking and believing that then will bring us into this ascension period. With ascension, the dark, goes away. We no longer have this duality in the way that we see duality. We will still have light and dark, but we won't have what we would call good and evil. Good and evil are constructs of the human being, meaning they're part of belief systems, okay? When you get into studying the galactic beings like the Arcturians or the Pleiadians, there is no true concept of good and evil. There's just polarity. Some of the teachers, such as Abraham Hicks, calls it contrast. That is a better definition. So there is light and dark, the yin-yang symbol, the divine feminine, divine masculine. Those are the energies that exist now. The problem is we are in 3D, barely 4D, and we have tons of outside influences trying to tell us what to do with our bodies, trying to tell us that we need to work jobs, etc. When we get into this higher dimensional level of vibration and frequency, jobs will no longer be required. Money will no longer be required. Everyone will have everything they ever need or want. So greed and avarice will go away. A lot less distortion, a lot less of the collective consciousness, going into unity consciousness. This is a process. Everybody is going through an expansion, a learning and growing. The soul has to go through these things. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're living up on a mountain or where it is that you exist and what you do with your life. You are still learning, expanding, and growing. Your experience, you're a fractal break off of source creator or God. That's what we are. We're co-creators here, so that God could experience itself expanded. Okay, and so it's a curriculum. It's like a school going through this first awakening and then this ascension. The ascension process, there's many different versions of what's told about this. However, there's some that talk about a great flood. There's some that talk about an evacuation. There's some that talk about actually transporting ourselves to a new earth, things like that. Study these things. You can ask me questions about them, but then be your own guru, be your own teacher. Everything that you require is in your heart truth. The human being human, operates through both the mind and the heart. Primarily, we've been operating from the mind for many thousands of years, and this is a problem because there needs to be a balance of the whole being, the physicality, the animal aspect, etc. But the main components that we use is heart, mind, mind, heart, mind, heart. So mind has to do with thoughts. If you're thinking your way through this, you're only going to get so far. You have to feel your way through this, and the heart comes pure. It's tapped straight through the soul. The left brain, the ego, is trapped or is connected with the mind aspect. And so that's the problem with only or primarily operating your life through thinking. Okay, you have to feel your way into it. Heart truth really comes from getting quiet, breathing, going into a very quick, even meditative state in which you just get quiet with yourself and just listen and feel and see. There will be an inner seeing, and you'll be able to get your truth. It'll just come to you. And if you have any questions or doubts about it, that's fine. That's the mind trying to protect you. But let that go and then just get back to the truth again. And the answers will come to you. That's the aspect of a balanced spiritual being. The balanced spiritual being, mind, body, spirit, is balanced in all of those. You're doing so in a human form, so you do have to also balance your body, take care of yourself, your health, etc. Okay, so the next one that I wanted to talk about is Ascension Symptoms. Let me check real quick first to see if there's any questions. And let me see here. I don't see any. Let me refresh the comments real quick. All right, I don't see any yet. That's fine. This will be recorded as well, so if you do have questions, you can always get in touch with me a little bit later. Let me do something here with Facebook. As usual, Facebook is challenging, and so it's having some problems with this stream. Okay, so let's keep going. The next topic I wanted to talk about is Ascension Symptoms. Ascension Symptoms meaning we're going through this ascension. There's a lot of light coming through what's called the central sun, what many call the central sun. Thinking about it as source personified. It's like the great battery of all the universes, if you want to think about it that way. Pure light. It feeds all of the universes. Okay. If you check and study different streams and channels that talk about CMEs, coronal mass ejections, and solar flares, things like that, you'll be able to get a gauge. And there's websites you can go to where they measure this stuff physically, and you can get a gauge for how much of the solar is coming through. The solar is coming through to activate our DNA and activate our light codes. So we are actually, as soul beings, we are actually beacons. Think of us as like a lightning rod, so to speak, of light codes. We are the USB ports that Gaia and the universe plug into in order to fasten the higher dimensional aspects into this planetary experience. And so that's why it's so important to keep your thoughts, your feelings, your moods, your emotions managed, so that you try as hard as you can to be joyful, to be happy, etc. The one way to try that as best you can is to realize that you are a divine being and you have this power. The darker forces all around us are spitting out news, right? Everyone knows this, and they call it fear porn for a reason. It's fear, 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 fear. It's made to keep your vibration down. I can get into that in another broadcast as to why this sort of a war is going on, but that's their object, the dark forces, to keep us down and keep us in a lower vibration. Don't allow that to happen. You are the creator here. You are the co-creator here. You are in charge of your own emotions, your own feelings, and your own thoughts. Okay? Don't let outside forces, don't let outside people, don't let anything outside of yourself drag you down or tell you how to think, feel, or believe. You are your own guru. Again, you have all the truth. You have this amazing, think about it as like a galactic library that you can tap into at any point through your heart center. At any point, and I can teach a very quick process on that, but you can do it just as easily as I just said. You have to get quiet. Thinking is not quiet, you see. That's all meditation really is you're quieting the mind. You watch your breath for a while, you check physical things going on in your body, and then you let that go, and then you just focus your attention on your heart. Just focus on your heart, focus on your heart. And again, that'll keep you in that state, that emotional state of balance. That'll help. Okay, there's other methods to use as well, which I can teach you guys. So the Ascension Symptoms, to get the Ascension Symptoms, are actually physically changing us. We're going from DNA that was deliberately limited to 2 strands. Okay, we all have seen the DNA thing, right? The double helix. We're supposed to have 12 strands. Our natural state as soul beings is 12 strands. When we have 12 strands, we have different abilities, such as telepathy, telekinesis, things like that. We've been deliberately spiritually neutered, is kind of the best way to say it. So these light codes and everything else are producing Ascension Symptoms. We're going from a carbon-based DNA being, biological organism, to a more crystalline-based, more of silicon-based. And that's going to change our DNA. Our DNA is going to evolve again, or in reality really go back to what we used to be many eons and eons ago. And so part of that produces symptoms. I'll just list off a whole common list of symptoms. I'm in multiple groups. I've been studying this stuff for several decades. The common symptoms are dry mouth. We're very dry because these solar energies are coming in constantly and they dry out our system. Therefore, water, excuse me while I take a sip, water is very, very important, keeping yourself hydrated. That also means keeping yourself oiled, so to speak. Coconut oil, just digest a little bit in a teaspoon or a tablespoon, is also helpful in lubricating the joints and everything else. Secondly, a lot of dizziness, a lot of buzzing in the ears. I experience both those things. Different visions, headaches, digestive problems, maybe getting very, very hungry or very, very not hungry. Things like that. That's because our systems are actually changing. Now, if you have don't get me wrong, if you have a serious medical condition, obviously go see your care provider. I'm just giving you the spiritual aspects of this, of what you could be experiencing in terms of Ascension Symptoms. The cure for this, as far as I see it, or the antidote would be a better word, is to stay present and to stay grounded. Present means you're mindful. Okay, you're in this now moment as best as possible, and then do the physical things you need to do for your body, like take a sip of water, coconut oil, certain supplements, etc., to take care of your body. But keep in mind, my whole point of this is many, many, many on this planet right now are going through Ascension Symptoms. And so Ascension Symptoms are simply our bodies changing to try to accommodate our DNA changing in this new body. Okay? So, again, take care of this as best you can. Listen to your own body. Your own body will tell you what you need. And that's how I'll leave that. That's Ascension Symptoms. The last topic that I wanted to bring up, and then I'll answer any questions that there are, and I won't keep this too long. Again, there will be a recording. I'll post it across social media. The last one is about advanced manifesting. I teach a manifesting masterclass. If you want to attend that, I'll put some links in below as well. It's usually a 4 to 6 week class, although I'm also going to do a weekend class coming up very soon to keep it shorter. Again, those will be recorded. They'll be in a membership area as well. Advanced manifesting techniques, the biggest thing that I see people who know how to manifest, there's several roadblocks that they run into. One of the biggest ones is getting discouraged. We're in 3D/4D. these dimensional frequency areas are slow. Okay, although everyone's seeing everything speeding up, and that's an indication that we are ascending, but it's still slow. Okay, slow by our standards as ascended sort of spiritual beings. We know that we can instantly manifest once we get our vibration and our frequency high enough, and so it seems slow, and so we lose patience, and by losing patience we also get discouraged, and if it goes too far we lose hope, and if we lose hope, that kind of puts a blockage or even a brake on slowing down our manifesting. Okay, I've talked to people who they are very good at manifesting and yet they lose hope or they get discouraged. Discouraged, the difference between those two is discouraged is a temporary setback. It should not become loss of hope. Okay, there's a huge difference between those two. So discouragement is tied to its cousin, which is impatience. Okay, and so you become discouraged because you have a certain outcome in your mind that you want, and you want it to happen now. See, that's the impatience part of it. And so you become discouraged. You think, well, it's all crap. Everything I've just been doing is just not going to work. Why should this ever work? That's old programming, old beliefs, etc. Hope is the belief that everything is working out perfectly for your highest good. Okay, the universe has your back. That's hope. And so there's that line between those two, discouragement and hope. That's one of the roadblocks I see in advanced manifesting. I hope that helps you. The second one that I see quite a lot is where people don't have faith in their abilities. And faith and hope are sort of the mirrors of each other, right? Faith is a belief that you are a divine being and that there is this process called the law of attraction, and it's a law. It's just no different than gravity. It's one of the 12 universal laws. If you want to go study the 12 universal laws. Law of attraction, law of reciprocity, those are two of them. The law of attraction states, and I'm going to put it in simple terms because it's been stated many different ways. In simple terms, that which you are is what you attract. Okay, so I'll repeat that. That which you are is that which you attract. Okay, so people will say, well, I don't have it yet. I've been trying to attract and trying to manifest, and I don't have it yet. Okay, again, that's coming up to that impatience level. But it's really faith. You don't have faith in your ability, number one, and you haven't seen it yet. Okay? We've been taught incorrectly by the darker forces that you must see it to believe it. It's absolutely the opposite of that based upon the law of attraction and the universal laws. You must believe it first to see it. That's just not a belief. That's just not a teaching. The way the law of attraction works is you are the source. You are the creator. Your vibration determines what is coming to you. If you watch my hand, most people, what they're trying to manifest is doing like this, coming closer and closer to them, and it's right here. And they lose hope or they lose faith. It's literally inches away from you. It's literally right there. It has to be, because you're the creator. And so if you're the creator, you've already created it based upon your feelings, desires, thoughts, actions, right? You've already created it. It just has not come into your experience yet, so you have not seen it yet. So believe it first, and then you will see it. And it's not magic. The believing comes from you being the generator of that manifestation. You are the creator. You are generating that manifestation. It just has not come to you yet. So that's why a big, huge aspect of attraction and manifesting has to do with allowing. See, allowing means that you put forth, you write it down. There's a whole process that I teach. You put it all forth in as much details as possible. You feel it. You have the passion for it. And then you let it go. Okay? That's the hard part. When I was first learning this stuff, it's incredibly challenging because you want to grab it. You want to have all the control over it. No, it's already there. You just have to stay focused in your manifestation. If you need to write it down, look at what you've written down 1, 2, 3, 4 times a day if you need to. And then let it go. And then let it go. Okay? That's faith. Faith is knowing that it is coming to you, knowing your own power, knowing your own ability to create and manifest, knowing the way the laws of attraction and the universal laws work. It's a knowing. So if you know it, why would you resist it? If you know it, why would you try to push it away? If you know it, why would you have high expectations? It's going to come to you in divine timing, meaning it's going to come to you when it is ready and needed for it to come to you. Everything in this universe operates on the basis of need. And I know that's an answer that many don't want to hear, because they're like, well, I mean, I need it now. I need that thing in my life now. And you can have that in your life now. I'm not saying that you cannot. I'm simply giving you the steps and the process for allowing it and creating it in your life to come into your experience now. It has to do with believing first, and then you'll experience it. Okay? All right, let me look for any questions, and then I'll go ahead and cut this off so that we can do a shorter recording. Does anyone have any specific questions at this point? I don't see it. I see a couple of hearts and a couple of flowers over on TikTok. Thank you very much. I appreciate those a lot. And let me look over here on Facebook and see if there's any specific questions. And so far I don't see it. Give me one moment, please. Let me get into the tech of all this. Sometimes baffles me. So give me, okay, here we go. So let's see. Give me one more minute. I just want to make sure we got any questions going. All right, go live. Okay, thank you. Got a couple of likes. Thank you. All right. At this point, so I'll go ahead and cut this off. I'll go ahead and cut this off at this point. Again, this will be recorded. I'll go ahead and post this in TikTok and Facebook, on YouTube, probably on Instagram as well. And I will answer any questions. If you're in my Facebook group, that's the best way to get a hold of me. It's a small community of like-minded people. I strongly suggest you go ahead and join. There's not, I don't pitch. I don't have a lot of things for sale. I have a couple of courses that I teach. You can also calendar in a direct one-on-one appointment with me. We can do a chat via Zoom or just by cell phone. I do a 55-minute session. And it could be any topic you wish. If you want to learn about your guides, I also do a live channeling with you that's specific for you. That's part of the services I offer. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut this off now. If you still have any further questions or you need to get a hold of me, again, get a hold of me through the links here in the social media. And I'll go ahead and post my Facebook group in the bottoms of the videos so that you can come on over to my Facebook group. There's no real approval. You just agree to not spam or hate or do things like that in a normal group, and you'll be more than welcome to come over there. Again, I strongly suggest that for anybody who is in a spiritual path to join some sort of a group so that you can have some level of support. Okay, it's a lonely path at times, but we are all one. It just feels like it's lonely just because we are such fierce light warriors, and we really are. So I encourage you to either create your own community or go join another community. And remember, the last thing I want to leave you with is you are the creators. Create your new life. The other aspect of ascending is to create this higher vibration and this higher frequency that you want to see. Okay, and if you don't believe that, then go ahead and get a hold of me and I'll help you with that. But you can create that. So go ahead and be the creators. Live with love and light. Be the light. Okay? I love each and every one of you so very much. I mean that sincerely, because we are all one. Okay? Take care, everyone. I'll see you again next Tuesday night. I'll do a live soul chat. And if you have a specific time that we want to do this, I'm going to put out a poll to see if maybe the evenings are not the best time. Maybe afternoons or mornings would be better. Just let me know that as well, okay? Take care for now, everyone, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.